If you think what's going on with President Trump is a disgrace with our legal system, I want you to consider the following. Number one, what you see in that trial in New York with Judge Marchand is not unique in the American legal system. You have a judge that's trying to manipulate the facts and the law and is bent on giving jury instructions which he thinks will assure the conviction of President Trump. This kind of behavior occurs many, many times in the American justice system. That's why I started Judicial Watch in 1994. It's why I started and run Freedom Watch today. Judges, in principle, are our most important public servants. I've said this many times, because they protect us from the tyranny, not just of the other two branches of government, but ourselves. So when you look at what's going on in New York with regard to President Trump, remember, it's not limited to him. It could be you and your loved ones next in any court of law in this country. If you get on the side of someone that is politically more powerful than you, or has standing, or knows the judge, or for that frankly, is willing to bribe the judge, and you know that happens. It happens in the United States all the time. It's just that the FBI doesn't investigate it because they're dependent on judges to get convictions. But keep that in mind. Now, if you're talking about the international court system, that's even worse. Look at what's going on at the International Criminal Court today, issuing warrants. That's what they want to issue with regard to Prime Minister Netanyahu in Israel. But yet, they create equivalence with Hamas, and they say, oh, we're going to issue them for the terrorists. Of course, the terrorists should have warrants for arrest for what they did on October 6th. But the Prime Minister of Israel, even though I'm not a great fan of him, because I think, frankly, he's too weak, talks big and acts little, as I've said many times, he basically, thinks that he can pull a wool over the eyes, not just of the United States, but also his own people. He is responsible in large part for what happened on October 6th because he was asleep at the switch, much like our people, Cheney and Bush, were asleep at the switch leading up to 9/11. The fact is this court is out of control and needs to be, in fact, abolished, as well as the United Nations. There's no reason for us to be supporting the United Nations. It's comprised, frankly, of a bunch of terrorist countries that take control, even of their Human Rights Commission, use it as an opportunity to get spies into this country with diplomatic immunity, and accomplishes little to nothing other than to eat up American taxpayer money. But lo and behold, the socialist/communist Senator Bernie Sanders, who regrettably was born Jewish but denies it, self-hating Jew, has come out today and supported the arrest of Prime Minister Netanyahu. Frankly, I think he should be arrested for violating his oath of office to the American people. Because the fact is that he is undermining not just the rule of law, but he's undermining American security. He's undermining American strength. So too is President Biden. It's very, very sad, but in recent years, our military is not able to recruit the good people that it could, because what it emphasizes are these social woke issues rather than fighting wars. Now, with regard to LGBTQ, they deserve rights. Sure, they're like us. They need to be respected. But you need not push it on people, particularly on kids. And I, for one, have no problem with people that are gay, lesbian, or otherwise. It's just a question of pushing it on people that don't want it. You're entitled to live your life as you wish. And in addition, our military is very important, and it's very weak right now. And that's why we have these wars all over the world. And when you see senators like Bernie Sanders advocating that the International Criminal Court, which has no jurisdiction over either the United States or Israel, we are not signatories, call for the arrest of the Prime Minister of Israel, that undermines our national security. It is time for our military to be strengthened. It is time for us to focus on issues that are important. It's time for us to respect rights of everybody, whoever you may be. But that is not a reason to push things on other people and to destroy the fabric of the military by focusing only on that and not on national defense. That's my message for today. Go to freedomwatchusa.org. I have opposed the United Nations for many years, and so have many other people. When I ran for the Senate in Florida in 2003 and 2004, I remember people getting up on their chairs when I suggested that we should get out of the UN. When I was a young intern working for Senator Dick Schweiker of Pennsylvania, I remember opening mail to that effect, but it's never happened. The UN, unfortunately, has been co-opted by third world terrorist states that want to harm not just Israel, but the United States, and frankly, Western powers in general. So this is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Support Freedom Watch. We are your real Justice Department. We not only uncover the truth, but we bring hard-hitting cases to defend the rule of law. Go to freedomwatchusa.org. Contribute with tax-deductible contributions. Remember, the Father and Son will only help us if we help ourselves. He won't help us if we do nothing. He never intended for we the people just to sit there like sheep and be slaughtered by a despotic government that does not recognize the rights of the American people, but in fact only perpetuates its own continuation. God bless you. God bless America. God save America. I'm afraid perhaps the UN is calling me. I must have hit a nerve. Talk to you tomorrow.